Okay, let's go ahead and call to order this emergency meeting of the Owasso City Council. Julie, can you do a roll call, please?
Mayor Chris Kelly.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bill Bush via teleconference.
Here.
I'm sorry, did I hear here?
Here.
Thank you. Councilor Lyndall Dunn.
Here.
Councilor Kelly Lewis.
Here.
Councilor Doug Bobrate via teleconference.
I'm here.
All right, we're here for item number 3, consideration and appropriate action relating to Resolution 2020-12, addressing the COVID-19 pandemic and local public health issues. As you are well aware, we met yesterday at 4 o'clock and heard from Dr. Dart, the Executive Director of the Tulsa Health Department. Dr. Dart updated us on kind of the current goings-on with COVID-19. Also answered some very specific questions from this council pertaining to the items that were under consideration. Mainly items that included the potential for issuing a shelter in place, as well as some items relating to parks and some of our big box stores, and they provided excellent answers to those. And we use that information along with citizen input and council input to compile this resolution 2020-12 for council consideration. So with that, I will open this up for any council comments if there are any.
I guess the only thing that, or a couple things that I had questions on, we talked a little bit about the dog park, and I did not see that in any part of the resolution as far as restricting access to the dog park. That was one question, and also the termination date says April 14th. Were we going to do like what the governor's done, extending that to the 30th of April?
So I would say both items are definitely up for debate. Our current order, or the order that we did before the previous resolution, goes to April 14th. In our discussions, right, we were going to kind of reevaluate those at that work session on April 14th.
Okay.
As far as the dog park goes, I read the omission of that is that we were leaving it open based on the conversation yesterday, but that's certainly open for discussion, as is anything in this resolution at this point.
I guess I misinterpreted then, and that could be just because of, trying to do the teleconference thing. I may have misheard, but I thought that perhaps because you have to go through gates, there's a lot of potential areas where people touch and socialize. I'm open, but I thought that needed to make sure that we were all on the same page with it.
I can tell you that staff understood that the dog park would remain open. There was discussion about how you do have to go through gates, but there was a counselor comment that we can't guarantee every place a safe place, but that the dog park, again, this is just our understanding, it's certainly open for amending out or in, however you'd like to term it. But that's why it was left off. Just as Mayor Kelly said, the omission was the thinking that it would stay open.
Okay. I guess the only thing I would add to that is just something of however staff can evaluate, making sure that things are going well out there, just because, again, there is a susceptibility or a possibility, especially from what I heard yesterday, is kids can go into the dog park, and we talked about how kids could potentially cause problems out at the splash pad. So anyway, I just think it would be good to monitor that and make sure that that is going well, so that we can certainly make sure that that's not a susceptible area.
I can tell you from a staff standpoint that it's staff's commitment to check all of the parks on a regular basis. There's a challenge to cordoning off the playground equipment. We know from our counterparts in Tulsa that any kind of tape that's used tends to get torn down, so it'll require our staff to monitor those areas regularly. And I can tell you, as far as the dog park's concerned, this is not based on any data, but I've never been out there, the times I've been out there where there were kids out there with their dogs, there's always been an adult with dogs. I'm not saying that a child can certainly, as any other park, walk anywhere in the park or go through that gate, but we will definitely be monitoring all the parks to assure that groups aren't gathering, to assure there's not unusual activity, to assure that our restricted areas are still restricted, tape is up, again, all the things that we can do to maintain social distancing and sanitization.
Sure. In regards to trying to cordon off the playground equipment and the challenges with that, is there any way to maybe put signage up just to help inform citizens that it's off limits?
Yes, I know we do have some signage up now. I couldn't tell you which
Okay.
parks have signage, but yes, and we can continue to do that.
Okay. Then I think we're doing the best we can then. I did have one other question. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, regarding the end date, if that's a work session and we decide to extend it, can it be extended at the work session since it's not actually where there's any resolutions done or any updates done?
Yes, we can extend it there.
Just making an action item on the agenda for the work session.
Correct. We
Okay.
just, we've been in an area where we've had no meetings for 3 weeks, which is why we've been calling all these emergency and special meetings. But, next 3 weeks, we have meetings scheduled, so we'll make sure and review this each week as we move forward, because as we've seen with this the whole way through, this changes daily. So I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about and could even potentially have to call another meeting prior to next Tuesday's meeting if anything else changes.
Understood. I did have one other question, and in this section, and it's a little semantic question, so sorry about that. Some things that stand out. But in item A of the resolution, number 4, where it says to care or transport a family member or pet in another residence, looking at the word family, are we extending that to, as far as family, you know how blended families are, and some people consider some friends family members. Are we going to give grace to that?
From an enforcement standpoint, I can almost certainly say yes. Family would be,
Okay.
yes.
Whatever the person considers to be their family there. Okay, just want to make sure.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'm just, it seems like maybe I wasn't paying attention yesterday, but this goes way beyond what we talked about yesterday as far as we talked about making a strong recommendation. This is an actual stay in your house resolution. And I guess I'm wondering, did I misunderstand yesterday or?
So yesterday's discussion was about kind of gathering the council's kind of will but also evaluating Dr. Dart's opinion. And I can only speak for myself personally. I from the get-go have kind of maintained the same mantra that there's a lot of opinions out there about what's going on, not just here but all over the country, where the opinions vary very little is amongst the experts. And to me, the safest place that we can go in a situation, especially a situation as unusual as this, is to the experts. And Dr. Dart has been a very trusted expert, and much to the comments that I've heard a lot, both online after our meeting yesterday. I think there's an idea that we're making decisions based on what people in New York City are doing, or what people in California are doing, or what even other municipalities around here are doing. To me, it has nothing to do with any of that. Everything that at least I'm basing my decisions on, or what our health department right here in Tulsa County says. That's our health department, and they were pretty strong on this recommendation, so we put the wording in that way.
I would also
Well,
like,
and if I understand correctly, we're not saying that you can't get out of your house. That we're saying that it's a shelter in place to where you can get out for anything essential, which is basically everything that we covered, including getting out and walking and getting out and going to the park or getting out and going to the grocery store or anything the things that are essential for life to continue as far as that goes. We're not saying that you have to stay in your house behind your locked door. I mean, we still, because that was one of the things that Dr. Dark specifically was talking about yesterday, if I understood correctly, was to get outside and exercise, stretch your legs, go to a park, just don't gather in groups of more than 10.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was very specific on, in our specific case anyway, that he supported leaving the parks open but closing down the equipment because there is a need for people to get out and exercise and stretch their legs and or walk a dog for that matter. So I think it's a balance of the two. There's definitely a long list here of things that people can do that are considered essential, and I think it's a fairly long list, and it is pretty consistent with the what other municipalities have done in the Tulsa metro area. But it really just is, it's explaining how to be responsible with this is really all this is doing.
Well, I have to make a point. It's not explaining, it's telling them they have to stay at home unless they can justify being out.
Agreed.
I would like to comment that I totally agree with this. And I'd also like to reiterate that these measures are being taken for prevention. It's not the numbers that actually matter at this moment in time. We're trying to prevent the numbers. And if people need to stay home to do that and get out when they have to, or when they need to take a walk or take their kids out, but stay home. To me, it's very simple. This isn't something we need to keep playing with. And it's not government trying to dictate people. It's not the numbers that matter. It is very simple prevention. And it's happening. We can look across the country and see, not even in the hot spots, but we can see the fact that we lost 7 people in Oklahoma yesterday. They died. So I think it's not something to take lightly anymore.
I tend to agree on certain points on both sides for what Kelly said and also what Lyndall's points are making. It's a delicate balance. About the only thing that really kind of tips me over to accepting the language as it is the fact that there's still choices here within the resolution. If it gets to that point where we're limiting to the point of not having any more choices, citizens to be able to get out and do things that they need to do, then I would really, really struggle with that for various reasons. One, we talked about it yesterday, is enforcement. And so anyway, with all that, I certainly agree on both sides of what Kelly and Linda were trying to say, because we do need to prevent, but we also need to give people choices, otherwise we're going to go crazy. This is looking like it's going to last a while. We still need to get out and do things, and I think this resolution gives us some leniency to do that.
Agreed. Anyone else? Okay, if there's no more comments, I need a motion.
Move we approve.
Second.
I'll second.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
No.
Mr. Bowbrey?
Yes.
Mr. Bush?
Yes, I think I heard my name.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes. Okay. With that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Joe, are you calling this, or am I all in favoring?
I can call it. Mr. Bush?
Yes.
Mr. Bowbrey?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.